Hello and welcome to my channel. It's been a while since my last video, and yeah, I apologize for that. I was ill, and after that I was not in the mood to record some videos, so I was waiting for the right time for doing this. And yeah, I'm really glad that I am back. And for today's video, I would like to talk about my rules for D&D solo. And when I say D&D, I'm not saying 5e, although these rules might be applied to 5e as well. But it is just a set of rules that I have been using mainly on basic fantasy RPG. And I would like to start by talking about a little bit further, um, uh, because basic fantasy RPG is something that I really like, and it's a set of rules that is free, that are free, um, and one can download these on a website. And actually, let me show it to you. So yeah, this is the basic fantasy website, and here one can easily find the rules in this download section. So we have all reviews. We have even in a format that it's possible to be added. Um, and we have some supplements that are free as well, although they are not really necessary. We have campaign settings and so on. Everything here is free. And apart from this, we have some community supplements for additional classes and so on. So there are a lot of materials here. And for those that want to play Dungeons and Dragons, but for some reason, or maybe because one cannot afford the price of these 5e stuff and so on, or there are some people that are not so satisfied with the rules, but they used to enjoy the old Dungeons and Dragons. I strongly recommend basic fantasy RPG. Personally, I like it because when I play these, it's a little bit nostalgic for me. I basically come back to a time where I was a teenager playing Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. Although the rules are not based on AD&D, but more D&D third edition, if I'm not wrong. But they are really good. And I bought actually the book on Amazon by I think €5 or something like this. But yeah, it's really cheap. Even if you would like to buy the book, good quality. I really love it. But one can, as I said, download here, or if you don't want to download the PDF, you can just go to this SRD option, and then you can basically navigate through the rules. So it's a retro clone of Dungeons and Dragons, as I said. We have only the basic classes: cleric, fighter, magic user, and thief. We do not have races as a class as we used to have on Dungeons and Dragons first edition. We do have races here: dwarves, elves, halflings, and humans. So some spells, and everything that everything is here. Everything that is needed to play a session can be found here. We have the adventure session with some explanations and some rule sets as well, encounters, monsters, a huge list actually of monsters. It can be found here. Treasure, random treasure generators. It's here as well. Game master information, we have some tables for wandering monsters, rules for strongholds. So a lot of rules, a lot of things in one book. And if you like the rules, you can just buy it for €5 or $5 if you are in US. So this is really good. I really like the system. It's really simple. It's great. Yeah. So, but I used to play these by using some specific rules for hex crawl, created by I do not remember his name, but I can just show it to you. Yep, these are the rules created by Luke Kennedy. Oh, sorry, here, Luke Kennedy. And yeah, there are 16 pages telling you how to play a hex crawl, and you can use this to play solo. And yeah, it's really there. Everything is here. So everything is here, and I use this to play solo, and I had a lot of good times by using these rules. However, as one might already considered, it's really hard to play any D&D with just one character, right? It's really hard. So most of the cases, most of the time, actually, I need to create a party and play with the whole party, a party of 4, a party of 5 characters. And I was considering of playing basic fantasy RPG with just one character. And there is one system created basically for this called Scarlet Heroes, and I do have Scarlet Heroes as well, and I try to play Scarlet Heroes by following Scarlet Heroes rules. Scarlet Heroes, for those that do not know, it's I could consider a heteroclone as well, or OSR system, but focus on for solo play. And it has a great session of oracles that are really useful, not only for Scarlet Heroes, but for any OSR system. Any one of them can use these tables. And so I started by using these tables on Basic Fantasy as well. But then I tried to use Scarlet Heroes as it is, the setting, the rules, and so on, but I didn't like it. So I had the idea of bringing some I'm quoting inspirations from this set of rules to Basic Fantasy. And then I wrote my personal rules, or should I say additional rules, for solo playing. And I uploaded these to the Basic Fantasy forum, and it can be found here. Just let me show you. So you can just go to the forums, and I believe if you type here solo rules, maybe you can find this here. Yep, it's here. So I created these, and I will post the link in the description. I have these rules available here in PDF and even in ODT, and I posted these in the Basic Fantasy Facebook group as well, and it seems that people like it. So I've decided to bring this set of rules to my channel as well, just to show you what I did, and yep, and maybe inspire you on play not only Basic Fantasy but Basic Fantasy solo by having just one character. So the goal of this document is not actually create any kind of oracle or generators or anything like this. It's just to present a set of rules. So I just changed some rules from the book, very not so much. For instance, during the character creation, usually we use 3d6, and then we go through all 6 attributes in order. And for in this case, for the one single character, this character should be strong enough to handle stuff. So I, instead of using 3d6, I'm using 4d6. We drop the lowest, of course, and then we can just swap the roles as we wish, if it fit the idea of the hero that we have in mind. And if there is no any 16 number or something like this, if it's too low, you can just add 16 to just replace any role by 16, because you are, as I say, after all, you are creating a hero, right? In the basic fantasy, there is no rules for skills. And actually, this is a very, I would say, sensitive topic to be discussed, because we do have some people that like the D&D first edition as it is, without no skills. But I came from Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, and we did have some skills there. So I personally like to have some skills. So I just say, of course, optionally, you can just go to Rules Cyclopedia, Chapter 5. There is general skills, and Rules Cyclopedia can be easily found on the internet. And it's actually, they are now selling this book again on Drive-Thru RPG, and yeah, so it's really easy to find it. Or otherwise, you can just describe, just say a few words. Oh, my hero is something like these or these or these, and then you could have some kind of set of skills attached to this description. And before I go further, one might note, when we talk about the combat rules down below, that I got some inspiration, right, as I said, from other systems. But actually, I got inspiration from Scarlet Heroes in order to write not this stuff, because yeah, this didn't came from there, but the combat stuff definitely came from there. Ability checks as well is something that as it is written in the basic fantasy RPG, it's just simple. It's not something that we expect to use a lot, but I just created here, not created because we already had this. Even on AD&D, for instance, we can just have or roll under, where we just need to, if I would like to, for instance, check my strength, I just roll a d20, and if I roll under this to my strength, it means that I had a success. Or I could just choose to roll for a 20, where I roll a 20 and I add any attribute score, and if it reached 20, it means that I succeed on it. So this is just 2 rules that can be used in that table here. If it's average task, if it's simple, it's hard, extreme, heroic, some adjustments as well. So I added this as an option. I think it's really necessary to have some kind of ability checks during my solo sessions, at least, and this is the reason that I decided to put these rules here. But these combat rules, and I state this here, these are the rules that truly makes BF RPG possible to be played by one single hero character. Because combat is really, really tough. And yeah, basically when we are playing solo with one character, and if we face even an orc, we probably will die. If we are just a level 1 character and we have a goblin or something, or if we have 2 creatures, even if they are not so strong, we are probably going to die really easily. And I just brought the Scarlet Heroes combat rules to this document. I made some adjustments as well, but they're here. So and I prefer to keep the basic fantasy initiative rules. For instance, for me, I really like it. Basically, we roll 1d6 plus dexterity modifier, and if you roll high, you are going to be first, and then you have the order. But we roll initiative every round, meaning that, okay, if now I roll a 3, okay, I'm going to be the second character, for instance, but in the next round we roll again, so I might be the first or even the last. Yeah, but there are some cases that, okay, it could be a little bit tricky, so maybe it would be great if the hero always go first. This comes from the Scarlet Heroes, and I think, yeah, maybe this is a good thing to do, of course, unless you are surprised. But yeah, personally, I don't like it, but I just wrote this here because I think it might make sense for someone else. And one thing that it's really different, this is where everything changes. How we roll damage. On Scarlet Heroes, when we would like to roll damage, when we succeed on an attack, we just roll our damage normally. So if it is a mace, for instance, it's going to be 1d8 on basic fantasy RPG. So I just roll 1d8 plus strength, and then if I roll, for instance, a 8, it means that I apply 2 points of damage. But 2 points of damage not to the hit points, but to the hit dice amount. And I have an example here. I just says that Liana, it's a character, successfully strikes a python snake that has 5 hit dice with her short sword. She rolls a 6 on a 1d6 for damage, causing 2 points of damage to the python snake, which now has 3 hit dice available. And this makes everything really better for a solo character, because instead of having a huge pool of hit dice, hit points actually, that you need to put this to 0, you just are going to face just the hit dice, and it makes way easier. One single character can kill it way more easier. And the idea is, one can say, but it's going to be really easy. Not actually. It's not going to be actually really easy, because the python does damage normally, yeah, but by using the same rules actually, but to our hit point. And on basic fantasy RPG, we do not have so much HP. And actually, I roll my HP. Usually, I roll the hit dice, and I see how much I get. So it's not so easy to have. For instance, a thief has a hit dice of a D4, and a D4 is just a D4. A magic user as well has a D4 as a hit dice. So if you have plans to play basic fantasy RPG as a magic user, and you have just 1, 2, 3, or 4 HP, unless of course you have some constitution modifier. So usually on these OSR systems, the characters do not have so much hit points available at the beginning. So I think this is really great to have this rule here. So I have some further explanations here. I don't want to spend too much time explaining it because it's already written. One can just go to the link that it's in the description and read through that. So my goal here was basically just to present this to you. Another additional rule that I added here is something called hero points. And hero points basically, if you played Savage Worlds where we have bennies, the idea is basically the same. So we have bennies. I think Morkborg we have something as well. I just don't remember exactly what is the name of it, but we do have some things that we can spend in the sessions to reroll dice or cause maximum damage or avoid an attack or so on. So this is just basically to help your character during your solo session. So I just create this. You start with 2 hero points, and these points, they expire at the end of the session, and so meaning that they are not cumulative. But if in the next session that you are going to play, you are going to have these 2 hero points available again. So this is really useful in order to keep your hero alive without changing the rules or fudging a dice or something like this. You can just, okay, I have hero point, these are the rules, so yeah, just use it. They are very useful, but yeah, once you spend it all, you might have some problems. I just added the fray die rule from Scarlet Hero as well. Basically, what it says is every attack that you make, you can do an additional damage, basically a free attack to any other creature that is in your reach. So meaning that if you spend your attack, and I do not know, maybe you are fighting an orc or some orcs actually, so you have 3 orcs, and then you attack 1 orc, and then you need to roll your d20. You need to succeed on it, and if you succeed, you roll the damage. However, after this attack, you can just roll a damage dice. The fray die is a free damage die that you can roll and apply the damage to any creature that are close to you if they have the same amount of hit dice that you have or less. So this is the restriction here. So you cannot use these to attack creatures that are stronger than you, only creatures that are below your amount of hit dice. I'm not sure if I wrote this here actually, but if I didn't, I will just add this later. And these are the rules. So I am still expecting actually some feedback from it. I'm not sure if they are. I think they need to be improved somehow. So I already shared it, as I said, in the Facebook group of Basic Fantasy RPG, and it is available in their forums as well. But I didn't have so much feedback yet. I expect to have more. So if you wish, please download this, try it in your session. As I said, Basic Fantasy is free. So there is no costs. You can just grab this from the download page and use it. It's really simple. It's really great, and I have been playing it with some solo sessions, and I have been having. Is it right? I think so, right? I have been having a really good moments, and I expect that you can have some as well by using this system. Okay, so thank you for being here. Thank you for your time, and see you the next video. Bye bye.